They called me a monster. Not because of what I did, but because of what I could do. They saw the power I carried, the strength that made them feel small, and their fear twisted me into their enemy. It's funny, ain't it? The weak always label what they can't control. Monster, beast, abomination. That's what they spat at me, thinking it would break me. But they didn't understand one thing. You don't break what's already shattered. You don't cut what's already bleeding. You don't scare someone who's lived their whole damn life in darkness. I remember when I cared, when their words burned like fire on my skin. Back then I wanted to prove them wrong. Show them that I wasn't the beast they imagined. But you know what happens when you try to show mercy to cowards. They take your kindness and use it as a blade to slit your throat. You gave them trust. You gave them loyalty. You gave them everything you had. Your strength, your power, your heart. And in return, they gave you betrayal. They tore you down and left you to rot in the cold. And when you didn't die, they called you a monster for surviving. They don't know what survival costs, do they? It's not just the pain of your wounds. It's the weight of your rage, the bitterness that builds inside you like poison. They think the scars on your skin are the worst part, but they've never seen the scars on your soul. But here's the thing about monsters. They don't hide forever. They don't beg for acceptance or forgiveness. Monsters are born in the fires of betrayal, and they rise in the ashes of pain. And now, it's my turn to rise. You hear me? It's my turn. They wanted a monster. Fine. Let them meet it. Let them choke on the beast they created. I won't hold back anymore. No more mercy. No more second chances. The Mountain King doesn't bow to anyone. Do you remember who you are? Do you? You're the one who stood against storms while they ran for cover. You're the one who climbed higher, fought harder, bled longer. You carried the weight of your world while they sat and watched. And now they dare to act surprised when you roar. Let them fear you. Let them feel every ounce of the pain they threw at you. Because this time, you're not fighting for them. You're not fighting to prove a damn thing. You're fighting for yourself. For every wound, every scar, every night you spent drowning in silence while they laughed in their comfort. You're the Mountain King, not a servant, not a victim, not some broken shell of what they tried to make you. You're the storm that shatters mountains, the fire that melts ice, the shadow they can't outrun, and you will remind them of that with every step you take. Do you feel it? That fire burning in your chest? It's not anger, it's purpose. It's the clarity that comes when you stop giving a damn about their opinions. When you stop letting their words define you. When you realize that their approval is worthless, but their fear is power. So let them fear, let them tremble. Let them see the monster they created. Because the world doesn't respect the kind. It doesn't bow to the merciful. The world kneels to power. And power, my friend, comes from the darkness they tried to bury you in. You've been silent for too long. They think your silence is weakness. They think your patience is cowardice. But they're wrong. Silence isn't surrender. It's the calm before the storm. And now the storm is here. Let the winds howl. Let the ice crack. Let the earth tremble beneath your feet. Because when they look at you now, they won't see a man. They'll see the monster they feared all along. And this time, you won't hide it. You'll wear that title like armor. You'll let them feel every ounce of the rage they ignited. Every ounce of the strength they tried to break. Every ounce of the power they couldn't control. You're not just a king. You're a reckoning. And when they finally see that, when they finally understand what they've unleashed, they'll regret every damn word they ever spoke against you. So rise. Rise, Mountain King. Show them what a monster really looks like. This is your moment. Not theirs. Not anyone else's. Yours. And when the dust settles, when the world looks up at the throne they tried to destroy, they'll see you standing there. Not as a man. Not as a victim. Not as a monster. As the king. They called me a monster. Now they'll meet it. You know what they hate the most? They hate that I didn't crumble. That their poison didn't seep deep enough to kill me. They threw their worst at me, and I spat it back in their faces. That's what terrifies them. That's what keeps them awake at night. The knowledge that no matter what they do, I won't fall. But let me tell you something, Mountain King. Survival is just the beginning. You've survived the fire. You've walked through the cold, unyielding darkness. Now it's time to do more than survive. It's time to thrive. To take back every damn thing they thought they stole from you. Every insult. Every betrayal. Every wound. They're not just memories. They're fuel. Do you understand? That pain isn't your weakness. It's your power. It's the foundation of what you're about to build. And when you rise, they'll see it wasn't them who forged you. It was the fire they thought would destroy you. They thought they'd bury you in shame. But you turned that shame into a weapon. A blade sharper than any sword they've ever held. And now you're holding it. Mountain King. Now you decide where it cuts. You've been carrying their judgment like a boulder on your back. Their voices, their sneers, they echo, don't they? Even in the silence, you hear them, calling you unworthy, calling you less. But those voices, they're lies. Shadows of weak men who could never stand where you've stood. Weakness doesn't call you a monster because it's brave. It calls you a monster because it's terrified. And why shouldn't they be afraid? You're the storm they can't control, the avalanche they can't outrun. You're everything they'll never be, unyielding, unbroken, unstoppable. They see it, and it burns them alive. Let them burn. Do you feel that fire in your veins? It's not anger. It's purpose. You don't just exist anymore. You dominate. You don't just survive. You conquer. And every step you take, every choice you make, it's a reminder to them and to yourself that you are not their victim. They'll tell you to let go. They'll say forgiveness is strength, that you're better off forgetting. But you and I both know that's the language of cowards. Forgiveness isn't for men like us. Not when the wounds are still raw. Not when the echoes of betrayal still ring in your ears. Forgiveness is a luxury for those who've never been broken. And you've been shattered into a million pieces, haven't you? But instead of dying, you became something else. Something stronger. Something they'll never understand. You didn't just survive the breaking, you thrived in it. And now it's time to let them see. Let them see the monster they feared. Let them see the Mountain King in all his glory. Let them tremble as they realize the throne they tried to destroy was never theirs to take. This world, it doesn't belong to the kind or the gentle. It belongs to the relentless, the ruthless, the ones who take the pain and forge it into something unstoppable. And that's you. That's who you've always been, even when you didn't know it. thought they could kill the fire inside you. But now that fire is an inferno. Do you hear the wind, Mountain King? It's calling your name. Not in fear, not in pity, but in recognition. It knows what you've done, what you've endured, and it knows what's coming. The storm isn't just around you anymore. It's you. Let them see it. Let them feel it. Because when they meet you now, they won't just meet a man. They'll meet everything they tried to bury. Everything they feared. Everything they failed to destroy. And when it's done, when they're kneeling before you, trembling in the shadow of the throne they called a lie, you'll look them in the eyes and say, "You thought you could break me? You thought I'd disappear? Look at me now. Look at what you've unleashed. They called you a monster. They spat on your name. They tried to erase you, but they forgot one thing. Monsters don't disappear. They rise, and when they do, they destroy everything in their path. So rise, Mountain King. Rise and remind them of what they've done. Let them choke on the ashes of the world they tried to build without you. This is your moment. Not theirs. Not anyone else's. Yours. The Mountain King isn't hiding anymore. And now, the world will know the true meaning of fear. You know what they don't realize? Every insult, every betrayal, every moment of doubt they planted in you. It wasn't just an attack. It was a seed. A seed they thought would grow into weakness, into fear. But they forgot something about seeds. They don't just grow in light. They grow in the dark too. And in the darkest corners of this world, you've grown into something they can't even comprehend. They thought the shadows would swallow you. Instead, you became the shadow. Do you remember the nights when the walls felt like they were closing in? When the cold wasn't just in the air, but in your bones, your soul. When it felt like every breath you took was a fight against the weight of the world. Those nights were your crucible. Those nights turned you into this, into what you are now. They called you a monster because they didn't understand. But monsters are forged, not born. And the forge they threw you into, it didn't destroy you. It tempered you. It made you sharper, harder, and colder than anything they've ever faced. They don't know what it took to get here, do they? The sacrifices, the sleepless nights, the constant war inside your own head. They don't see the battles you fought with yourself just to keep standing. They see the scars, but they don't understand the stories behind them. They don't know that each scar is a victory, a reminder that you survived what was meant to kill you. And now, you're going to learn. Because you're not the same man they left for dead. You're not the broken shell they tried to shatter. You've become something more. Something they can't control, can't predict, and definitely can't defeat. You see, they thought their betrayal would be the end of you. But it was just the beginning. Let me remind you of something, Mountain King. You don't owe them anything. Not your forgiveness. Not your understanding. Not your peace. They didn't give you peace, did they? No. They gave you war. And now, it's time to give them the same in return. You are not the man who begged for their approval anymore. You're not the man who waited for their respect. You are the Mountain King. The air you breathe is colder, sharper, because you've climbed higher than they ever could. The ground beneath your feet trembles because it knows the weight of what you carry. And the crown on your head, it's not theirs to take. It never was. They thought you'd fall without them, but instead you rose higher. You thrived in the solitude they cursed you with. And now, that solitude is your strength. Because while they were busy whispering lies about you, you were building yourself, brick by brick, scar by scar, betrayal by betrayal. You've built something they can't tear down. And now, it's time to show them. They'll look at you, and they won't see the man they left behind. They'll see the monster they created, the force they tried to bury, the storm they can't escape. You hear that sound? That's the sound of fear, not yours. Theirs. Because they know, deep down, that you're coming. And when you do, you won't come as a friend or a savior. You'll come as a reckoning. You've been silent for too long. And silence, they thought, was weakness. They didn't understand it was strategy. You let them think they'd won. You let them believe you were defeated. But now they'll see. The storm is here, and it doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't beg for forgiveness. It doesn't spare the weak. Do you feel it? That fire in your chest. That's not just anger. It's justice. Not the kind they talk about in their stories, but the kind that's raw, brutal, and unrelenting. The kind that burns everything it touches until there's nothing left but truth. And the truth is this: you are not their victim. You are not their failure. You are not their monster. You are the Mountain King, and they will kneel before you, not because you demand it, but because they won't have a choice. This isn't about revenge. Revenge is petty. Revenge is for the weak. This is about reclaiming what's yours. Your name, your power, your throne. They tried to take it all from you, and now you're going to take it back. Not with words, not with pleas, with action, with force, with the unrelenting power of a king who knows he was never meant to kneel. They thought you were done, but they forgot one thing about mountains. They don't crumble under pressure. They rise. And now, so will you. Let them call you a monster. Let them fear you. Let them tremble. Because the Mountain King doesn't need their approval. He only needs the crown, and it's already his. You know what they don't realize. They think this storm will swallow me, that the cold will seep into my bones and freeze me where I stand. But what they don't understand is that I am the storm. I've walked through tempests that would break lesser men. I have stood alone on peaks so high, the air itself turned against me. Do you remember, Mountain King? First time they betrayed you? The way it cut deeper than any blade. The way the silence after their lies felt heavier than any chain. You could have fallen then. You could have let them win. But you didn't. Did you? No, you stood up. Bloodied. Broken. But alive. And that's what they hate. They hate that no matter how many times they've tried to bury you, you keep clawing your way back to the surface. You keep standing. You keep fighting. They hate that their words, their betrayal, their cruelty, it wasn't enough. It will never be enough. Because you are not like them. You don't crumble under pressure. You don't fold when the odds are against you. No. You rise. You grow. You take every ounce of pain they throw at you, and you turn it into power. They called you a monster, and maybe they're right. But monsters aren't born from nothing. They're made, forged in the fires of betrayal, and tempered in the cold of solitude. You didn't choose to become this. They chose it for you when they decided your kindness was a weakness. And now, they'll pay for their mistakes. don't need their approval. You don't need their acceptance. What you need is to remind them who you are. You are the Mountain King, the one who stood when everyone else fell, the one who carried the weight of their lies, their betrayal, and still kept moving forward. They thought they could break you, but all they did was sharpen your edges. Do you feel that power inside you? That's not just strength. That's clarity. The kind of clarity that comes when you stop caring about what they think. When you stop living for their approval and start living for yourself. This is your time, Mountain King. Not theirs. Not anyone else's. Yours. Let them see you now. Let them see the scars they gave you, not as marks of weakness, but as badges of honor. Let them see the fire in your eyes, the unrelenting force of a man who has nothing left to lose but everything to gain. You've waited long enough. For too long you've let their words define you. Their fear, their jealousy, their lies. They tried to turn you into something you're not. But now it's your turn to define yourself. No more waiting. No more hiding. No more mercy. You've spent years building yourself in the shadows. Brick by brick, scar by scar. You've created something they can't tear down. And now, it's time to step into the light. Not as the man they tried to destroy, but as the king they'll never be able to dethrone. They called you a monster. Fine. Let them meet it. Let them see the power they feared. The strength they tried to break. Let them tremble as they realize their worst nightmare isn't just a story. It's standing right in front of them. And when they kneel before you, when they beg for forgiveness, remember this. You owe them nothing. Not your mercy, not your understanding, not your pity. You are the Mountain King. The storm is your ally. The cold is your weapon. And the crown is yours to take. This is your moment. This is your reckoning. This is the day they learn what it means to face the Mountain King. They thought they could bury you, but now they'll kneel before you. They called you a monster. Now they'll meet it.